Chapter 4, we're going to start looking at the effects of a merchandiser buying inventory, and then also the effects of companies buying inventory. All right, so I'm going to let you define what a merchandiser is, the differences between a servicer and a merchandiser. I think it's easier to just give an example. I'm still going to let you fill this section in. I'm just going to discuss it briefly. Servicer and merchandiser, probably by now you've interacted with both kinds of companies. So if you've gone to the doctor or had any dealings with a law office or an accountant, tax office, those types of companies, those are servicers compared to a merchandiser. So a merchandiser would be like a Walmart, Target, Home Depot, Lowe's. You go into those places with a buggy or a cart or whatever, and you leave with a bunch of stuff that you put in your car or truck. When you go to the doctor, lawyer, CPA, tax accountant, you can get stuff from them, they will, but the primary service or product you're buying is a service. They know something and they do something for you. They take an x-ray, they diagnose you, they do your taxes, whatever. So a service versus merchandiser. So again, I think it's easier to just discuss examples and then move on. Let's look at this problem. Number one, a company has $550,000 in net sales, and we'll discuss net sales as we get through this chapter, but it is important. That is a very important, trying to get the pen started, word right there. Because we could have sales or net sales. There's two different meanings there. So that word, that three-letter word, means something, okay? So it's important to recognize that and not just to gloss over it and say, okay, sales. Because net sales and sales are two totally different things. But they're very similar, but they're different. And then gross profit, which has its own meaning. And this means it's cost of goods sold equals. So what we need to do is we need to solve for cost of goods sold. So the question is this, really. I'm going to write it down. So net sales is 550. And then it's asking what cost of goods sold are. And that's the abbreviation for cost of goods sold. So COGS, cost of goods sold. It's a neat little abbreviation. That's a lot to write in this little area here, so I like it. And then I'm going to finish writing and I'm going to explain everything that I wrote. And I didn't leave myself enough room to write gross profit on one line. It should be on one line. So $550,000 minus cost of goods sold gives you gross profit. Now, at this point in your accounting understanding, you probably thought all gross profit's the bottom line number. Well, there's more information before we get to net income, which is really the bottom line number. This is not the bottom line number. If this was an income statement, this is at the top of the income statement. This is very top of it. And net income, again, would be the very bottom. So we are at the top of the income statement, basically. Gross profit is not net income. It is not the bottom line number. All right, so what you need to do is you need to solve for cost of goods sold. And anytime, I mean, you learned this in prior grades in math. You know, how do you check your math problem when you subtract? You add, right? Well, we're going to do the opposite of that. To get this number here, we're going to subtract 550 minus 193. So 550 minus 193. And my calculator on my computer is not working right now. So 550 minus 193 gives 357. Gives 357. And what you want to do, because these problems are fairly simple and straightforward after you've done them a while. And then after you've done them a few times, you might let your guard down and might make an error and you might miss it even though you've mastered this concept. So I encourage you to always check your work in accounting. So when you've done the calculations and you've calculated 357, go ahead and do the math one more time, checking your work. So you will take 550,000 minus 350,000, and you'll get 193. And that'll confirm that your answer is 357. And be careful, because there's 150 here, 193 here, 550 here. So you could be, and then you could add up all the numbers. I guess you would have some combination of 743. I didn't check it out, but so be careful that you select the right answer should you have something like this on your test. All right, moving on. So what happens in an operating cycle as far as the cash goes? All right, they buy stuff, and that's not very articulate or precise, but they buy merchandise inventory and they sell it. They can sell it for cash or they can sell it for credit. All right. But if they sell it for cash, then we're done. They've gotten the cash. Okay, so this one here, this circle shows what happens if they sell it on credit. So sometimes companies will sell to other companies on credit. They'll say, hey, take the stuff now. I did it again. Sorry. Take the inventory now and pay us at the end of the month. All right, so the company takes cash. They buy the merchandise inventory. They sell it on credit. The companies owe money, and it's called accounts receivable. They eventually pay their account off, converting that back into cash so they can buy more inventory. The operating cycle. This visual will make more sense as we go through the chapter. Beginning inventory plus net purchases equals merchandise available for sale. What I'll call it a lot of the time is cost of goods available for sale, or COGAS. So this, where I'm circling, says merchandise available for sale, and a lot of times it'll be called COGAS. Not cost of goods sold, but cost of goods available for sale. Cost of goods available for sale is also ending inventory plus cost of goods sold. It is also beginning inventory plus net purchases. That's useful information for working problems in this chapter. Let's work an example here. Use the available information from a merchandising company to compute the cost of goods available for sale. And right there, goods available for sale, right? They're using basically that terminology, not merchandise available for sale. I only add the word cost of, or I guess I should say cost, the words of cost of goods available for sale to get COGAS. Cost of goods sold and gross profit. And if you recall from the first problem, we had net sales less cost of goods sold. That is not a good looking C. Gives gross profit. And I'm going to abbreviate it. Yeah, that's the pi symbol. I learned that a long time ago. I don't see many people doing that, but it gets everything nice and neat in one little column there. All right, so net sales were given, 9,500. Right there. So we've got that. And are we given cost of goods sold? No, we are not given cost of goods sold. Are we given gross profit? No, we are not given gross profit. So now we're going to have to calculate cost of goods sold. And we can. This right here gives us cost of goods available for sale, which is something we need to calculate. And we also need cost of goods sold. So let me show you how to do that. So cost of goods available for sale is beginning inventory. I abbreviated beginning inventory BI, which is 5,000, which is right there. Okay, now you add purchases, and I'm going to abbreviate that also. And I'm abbreviating so much mainly because this is a small area to write in. And also it's useful so you don't have to write all the words out. If I was beginning taking notes as I was watching this video. I might not abbreviate. I might just write everything out. So, beginning inventory, 5,000 plus purchases, 3,900. That is co-gas. That's the cost of goods available for sale, and that matches this diagram right here. Beginning inventory plus purchases gives you cost of goods sold available for sale. All right, so we got cost of goods available for sale with number one. We've got that 8,900. But we don't have cost of goods sold. So what you do is you write down ending inventory, and it is 1,700. And you want to subtract that. So you had, just think about this from a story perspective. You had $8,900 that you could sell, right? All said during the accounting period. And you sold a lot. You sold all but 1,700. How do I know it's all but 1,700? Because that's what's left. That's what's in ending inventory. So you just subtract that out. And that gives you cost of goods sold. So you'll subtract out ending inventory. Now, you've been doing this a lot during your life. This is your refrigerator. Okay, so beginning inventory is before you go to the grocery store. Purchases is what you bought at the grocery store and brought home. And cost of goods available for sale is food that you can eat. A few days later, a week later, 2 weeks later, whenever it is, however often y'all go, your family, whatever, goes to the grocery store, a few days, week, two later, whatever's left and not eaten, if you subtract that out from what was available for sale, gives you what you ate in that time period. So this has been going on a lot in your life. You just never have thought of it this way. So if you think of it that way, rewind the video if you want. That's exactly what's been going on in your life. Same thing for a company. So again, they could have sold up to $8,900. They didn't sell everything. So if they didn't sell everything, cost of goods sold cannot be $8,900. It has to be less. So what didn't they sell? Hey, it's an ending inventory. Subtract out 1,700 from 8,900. That gives you cost of goods sold, 7,200. And that goes here. Subtract out 7,200 and you will have gross profit. So 9,500 minus 7,200. Pull out your calculator, calculate with me. Make sure you get it. It's 2,300 is gross profit. All right, so this video has been going on about 13 minutes. I think that's long enough. I'm going to make another video as we progress our way through our chapter 4 notes.